For a group of first responders at a recent exercise, working together was the whole goal. A combined effort featuring soldiers, airmen, police, firemen, and a host of civilians worked together to practice for a mass casualty exercise known as Skyfall at Fort Carson, Colorado's Arrival Departure Airfield Control Group Section, or ADAG. Special effects help make the casualties' wounds appear more realistic.
Well, actually, we're setting up, getting ready for the moulage for this incident. The big boxes contains prosthetics, prosthesis, blood, a little bit of guts, some fake blood, fake guts and stuff, so that we're going to be applying to like some of the soldiers and actors that'll be in today's event.
Immersing the first responders in the training and getting them to take the scenario seriously is fundamental.
Sometimes, when we've done this in the past, if you don't have the realism, you can get complacent about how you approach the scene. You want to make it as real as possible so that they'll practice what they play.
The Skyfall exercise encompasses many components of one main simulated incident. While crews battle a simulated plane crash, others prepare for a task of attending to the wounded. Acting out to help rescuers know what to do is drilled into the volunteers.
This is just letting us know how we're supposed to act and react when the responders come up to us. If we're going to be alert or oriented or dizzy and don't know what's going on, I'm alert.
Working with multiple organizations in a combined effort has advantages.
Actually, working together is awesome because, you know, the scope of this exercise, you know, there's a huge chance that we actually would be working with the Army and the firefighters, their civilian counterparts. It does help us to know what their capabilities are, and then they can learn what the Air Force brings to the table if we have a mass casualty or an accident.
Certain life lessons brought to the training help teach the whole group.
It feels like, hey, all these things that we learned downrange, now we're bringing it back home. I mean, we learned that about traumatic brain injury, we learned that about damage control resuscitation, we learned that about how to sort of prevent death on the battlefield. We can do this here at home, and we can do it well.
Working with different entities can be problematic, but several groups in the event have a solution.
The military collaboration has been an opportunity to set up coordinated efforts, partnerships, relationships with them. And so coming in here really is more of a test of how the communication would flow. The relationships are already established and everyone would get along and work very well together.
Some wounded patients cannot be treated by the ADAG and must be moved to a hospital. To move them, helicopters are used, and not just the typical Blackhawks. Life flight helicopters are added to the scenario, but sharing the runway has its challenges.
You know, we planned for this for about 3 months. We did all sorts of air medical planning, and since we're in a controlled area here, it's easier. ATC controls us, but if we weren't in a controlled area, we'd definitely have to be visual separation. We'd have to make sure that we knew where everyone was, that we could talk air to everybody and make sure that we're safe.
Several observers watched the Skyfall exercise and reflect on previous cooperative attempts to help the city.
You look back at the Waldo Canyon fire a couple years ago, and then subsequently the Black Forest fire, and then the flooding that we had last September. It's just the latest example here this morning of all this collaboration we have in our region. I'm just so proud of everybody involved.
The patients arrive at a local hospital and begin treatment to fix their maladies. Exercise complete, the organizers and participants return back to their original functions, ready and able to join together if the need ever arises. Sergeant Toby Wall, Fort Carson, Colorado.